Hi there everyone, it's day 2 at the Great Electric Train Show and I'm here on the Hattons stand and very kindly Richard Davies of Hattons has sat down with me. We're going to just talk about a few bits and pieces. Today's video is sponsored by Trainomatic, makers of DCC decoders designed to be fully compatible with every manufacturer's locomotive. Now, has it been a really busy show for you?
It has been, yeah. We've been pleasantly surprised because, well, we weren't too sure what to expect. We've got a great position, and it's just great to get the rhythm restarted, just to be back at the shows and plough on.
Yeah, because this is the first big show for probably over 18 months, and is this the first show that you guys have done post-lockdown?
Absolutely, yeah. We just wanted to see how it goes, see what people wanted to talk about. And it's good to be here.
Yeah, because what you've been doing, because you're not actually selling products from here, it's more about talking with the customers, getting a feel for what they want, but also I'm guessing you're promoting the online business as well here.
That's right, yeah. I think if you're running an e-commerce business like Hattons is, it's very easy for retailers to not be in contact with, to not be in touch with what the customers want.
Yeah.
That's why we prefer to stand here and just really listen to what people want to talk about.
Absolutely, and you've got some of the samples in the cabinets of things like the Genesis coaches.
Yeah.
And I keep earwigging in on people talking about them, and they're really going down ever so well. I mean, are you really enthused with the response that you've had from people finally being able to actually see in the flesh those samples?
Yeah, well, we track the interest levels of all projects when we announce them.
Yeah.
And Genesis, I think, is unprecedented. The response, partly because of the novelty of the product, but also because it's just covers such a broad sphere of liveries.
Absolutely, because you've got 3 different batches announced, and you're pretty much ticking the box for every possible pre-grouping railway company that we've had ready to run models from, and certainly they're going to be arriving at about the time that we're going to see some more models coming through in appropriate livery. So actually you've timed it really well on that front.
Yeah. Well, they're so versatile and there's so much product available to complement it that there'd never be a bad time for Genesis to arrive.
Absolutely. And do you find that people keep coming through and suggesting liveries that perhaps you hadn't even thought of, but when they're saying them, you're thinking, actually, that might be a good idea?
Yeah, well, I think so. If we've got 18 different liveries, then the long list, let's say, had 70 candidates on.
Really? Gosh. And I mean, this will be the first time then that the painted samples have been on public display, am I right in thinking?
I think you're right, yes.
Yeah, because you did lend me some of them, so we showed them on one of the videos on my channel, but I guess it's very different to actually physically see them for yourself than to see them on a screen, and I guess this is a great opportunity for people to see them from every angle in their own time. But also you've got one with the roof removed, and it's the interior detail which has really blown me away, because the detail doesn't just stop at the outside, and we've become used to coaches from other manufacturers where the interior almost feels like an afterthought. It's a splodge of plastic and a rough outline of seating, but with these you've got etched detail with the luggage racks. Each individual seat is picked out and they just look exquisite.
Yeah, I think it's just the way that we like to do things. We are totally fastidious when it comes to specifying the products, and we'd find it hard for it to from a commercial sense, it might even be the right thing to do what the other manufacturers do. But we just want our products to be the best they can be.
Absolutely. And one of the things that did really strike me is that the lighting options that you've got for these models actually are a really great thing to get. I mean, usually I would say lighting tends to be a bit of a gimmick in coaches, but with these coaches, because of the level of detail on the interior, I'd actually argue and say that going for the fully lit versions is a must to actually see and appreciate the detail. And was that something that was in mind when you were designing these? So we're going to make sure that not only are they incredibly detailed, that we want people to see that detail.
The truth is maybe that commercially, one product which had a fittable light bar may have been the better solution. But we wanted to offer out-of-the-box lighting to all our customers, and we've come up with a really innovative way of actually incorporating the lighting. So,
absolutely, yeah. I mean, when I had them running on my layout, I was actually really impressed with how reliably that worked as well.
Good.
So it's certainly a really great system, but we can't just neglect any of the other products. You've also got some of the samples of the Andrew Barkley shunters, the P-Class, and they're selling really well, aren't they?
Yeah, well, it's nice. It's nice just to have a showcase of what we've done in the past as well.
Yeah. And then I suppose the real standout one, you've got the O-Gauge LNER coaches that you actually won the award for, am I right in thinking?
Yeah, we worked with Helgen on those, and very proud to receive another award. And that was another product that just seemed like it was a very good opportunity.
And I mean, they are a very impressive model. I mean, do you find that with the O-Gauge, how is the market for the O-Gauge? Because I can remember a couple of decades back, O-Gauge was very much the preserve of people who were quite capable at building kits, because there wasn't really anything ready to run. But we've seen an explosion in ready to run O-Gauge. Have you found that the market has grown with that availability?
I think Helgen were the first people that made the significant steps into making O-Gauge ready to run, and Dacol and Pico have done parts as well. So I think it is a good scene. I think it was the right direction to go, and it's great to see that the prices are becoming more reasonable as well.
Absolutely, because the price differential I've noticed between O and O-Gauge is actually getting quite close. So you get a much better value for money in the O-Gauge, especially with prices creeping up across the O.
Well, I think you still get good value for money in O. But O-Gauge has become more accessible.
Absolutely. And also this weekend you won the award for Retailer of the Year as well. And I've noticed that online you're certainly doing a lot more of a push with the second-hand stuff. Is this a conscious decision to grow particular parts of the business?
To be honest, we push second-hand because, well, we focus on making O products because most of us here are O modelers. And pre-owned gets a lot of focus because I love buying and selling pre-owned.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking a little bit about that. It's got so much more variety, and I think I was certainly here at the show. There's a lot of second-hand, and it's really nice to just have a route around and not even necessarily be looking for something in particular, but just, I often say to people, "Can I help you? Are you looking for anything in particular?" And it's like, it's okay. I'll know what I want when I see it.
Yeah.
And I guess second-hand is very much like that, because you see old favourites from the past that maybe you haven't seen for a while, and it rekindles some of those great memories of, oh, actually, yeah, I remember when that came out. I think I might get another one of those.
I agree. For me, my particular favourite is Lima Locos. I see Lima 37s and 47s that I remember wanting to buy from Hattons when I was 13.
So it comes
I
full
remember
circle.
looking in the magazines thinking, oh God, if only I had the money to buy this. and then they come back in second hand, and then we have to sell them again, which is a bit of a shame. But
I mean, is there a huge temptation that you think, oh, actually, I'll just have that for the personal collection? I mean, when you work in this environment, is there a big risk that you end up buying a lot of stuff for yourself?
I agree, it is tempting. Hattons is such a machine. Everything just gets swept through and processed really swiftly that you think, oh, I'll go back and have another look at that Intercity Swift 47, and it's gone on the website and sold. So you never get a second chance.
Oh, I mean, it's really good, and I can remember some of my early memories of going to model shops was actually going to Hattons, and the old shop on Smithdown Road for me was very much an Aladdin's cave of, in particular, the second hand. So it's nice to see Hattons kind of coming full circle and really trying to push that second hand market. Yeah,
well, I remember I know the feeling myself of looking through and hoping to find something of interest, and I think that we recreate that on the website now with people logging in each day and seeing what's on there, and I'd like to do more to promote that feeling of anticipation.
And the other thing as well that Hattons has been very, very good at is the social media presence, the YouTube presence, and certainly Hattons has become very much the leader in that field in getting the message out there and also embracing new ways of communicating with customers. How have you found that?
Well, we're people who like models and software, and so that's why working for Hattons is the right place for us. So yeah, we enjoy using new technology, and COVID has actually been a kind of opportunity to do even more with software. So it's been quite, I don't know if it sounds how it sounds, but it's been an exhilarating time, I think.
It's almost been like a bit of a new frontier where nobody's quite sure of what's going to work and what's not going to work. So there's been this air of pushing change for the better. And I think what we have seen is a lot of retailers realise just how important e-commerce is. And I guess Hattons had quite a good advantage here because you were always very early to embrace that new way of doing things. I mean, I can remember the adverts in the Railway Modeller going right back 20-25 years ago, and I can remember Hattons being one of the first to have an email address and then get a website when a lot of other model shops were still reliant on walk-in trade.
Well, the customers were actually asking us to get a website, particularly the international customers. And another service that we've done well with during COVID has been the trunk service that we built.
And I mean, with that, was this something that customers suggested to you, or did you think this might be a good idea? Let's see how it goes.
Well, it was just an increasing awareness of people who were buying from us very frequently. Nobody likes paying postage costs.
Absolutely.
So those two added up to mean that trunk service was the right feature to add.
And it is certainly a great idea where you can, say for example, if there's a wagon that comes out, and you know that if you don't buy it then and there, it's likely to sell out. But you think, just for one wagon, that's a lot of postage. You can effectively put it in that trunk, and then the next thing is, we'll put that in the trunk, and when it gets to a point where you've got a decent order, then get it posted. And particular, I guess, for people overseas, it makes it more convenient as well. And it takes a lot of the pressure off where people think, oh, I've got to make it worthwhile. Is it worth my while to just order this one thing? And sometimes people will be dissuaded from buying the little things because of the postage, and that alleviates that problem.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Well, look, thank you ever so much for taking the time out to talk with us, and it's been great being here on the Hattons stand at Great Electric Train Show 2021. We're having a great time. Big thank you to Richard Davies. Oh, and I must ask you had a sofa before. Where's the comfy sofa?
It'll be back. These chairs aren't as comfortable, are they?
They are not, actually. No, but we need that comfy sofa for next time.
It's on the list.
Excellent. So look, you take great care of yourself. Thanks for watching this video, and a big thank you to Richard Davies at Hattons. So happy modelling. Take care. Bye for now. Today's video is sponsored by Trainomatic, makers of DCC decoders designed to be fully compatible with every manufacturer's locomotive. Visit train-o-matic.com to browse the full range and see what they've got suitable for you. I'd like to send out a huge thanks to everybody who supports me on Patreon, and an extra special huge thanks goes out to Anthony Kidson, Offshore Allen, oorail.co.uk, Michael Lockie, Helen Sink, Peter Bolton, Brian and Dorothy Mudd, Gary Lewis, David Quinn, Sparky107107, George Botterini, Chris Moss, Robert Steers, MD of San Juan Model Company and Grantline Products, Sam Yates, Dale Williams, John N. from NC, NYMRish, Jonathan Foster, Peter, Graham Foster, Clifford Ison, Larry W. Grant, NI Railways 4000 class, Ian Coulson, and Alan Dickerson. Thank you. Without you guys, I couldn't do this.